Hello, welcome to another scene set in the living world of Dark, set in New York, set in the Devil's Playground. As Sam has finally had an opportunity to visit his dear old friend Justinian, who he has never once crossed and has totally upheld all ends of his bargains regarding him. He tried to reach the Devil's Playground once before, but unfortunately Justinian wasn't there and he couldn't have his little date with his little Toreador companion, who is currently with him, speeding down the road in Mercedes-Benz AMG GT, like a bit of a boy racer.
How classless. No style.
He has all the style, and yeah, he'll swerve in like the boss that he is, and not at all using the powers of the blood to supplement his horrendous driving skills. And we'll pull in, and we'll, when he does, we'll open the door and open it for dear Lady Selena as well.
She gets out. She's in a really good mood, excited to meet someone new. And so she stands and looks around when she gets out the car.
The area you're in is essentially kind of like a side street with lots of nightclubs and restaurants and stuff. It's quite nice. If anything, it would be described as being gentrified. And you are in front of a nightclub that has a big sign outside saying Devil's Playground and a kind of winking succubus.
She looks at the sign and smiles. She's looking forward to this. It looks like a place where she could have some fun.
Sam just wraps one of his arms around her and kind of just leans his head in and just says, "Just between you and me, I think this guy's kind of a bigger deal than the actual Primogen, so watch out."
She nods to Sam. I wasn't very impressed when I met the actual Primogen. Hopefully this meeting will be different.
I think considering your outlooks, I think you're going to get along just fine.
I do hope so.
Well, shall we then?
After you, darling.
He'll head on in with you, and we'll start looking for Justinian. Justinian would notice him because it's Sam, and he's not even remotely subtle.
So inside the Devil's Playground. What time is this in the night?
For D12.
Well, I mean, it's not open like in the morning.
No. It's 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, so downstairs is essentially like kind of a trendy bar area. There is music, there's a DJ. It's all very it's very nice and very pretty and very upper class. And Sam will recognise a French-looking chap. Face claim is Vincent Castle. Sitting at the end of the bar, and as he often is, he is on his phone, and he appears to be chatting to somebody. And one of the waitresses comes up, and he waves her away, not too impolitely. And he's sitting there on his Todd. I have no reason to assume someone's visiting me, so he's not going to make any rules to detect you.
He's just kind of sitting there. Sam will kind of wave on over as he heads up to you with actually, no, she's appearance 5. You may need to roll entrancement.
Oh yeah, I will.
So yeah, you see Sam running up with this astonishingly beautiful woman on his arm.
Let me find my stats. I have a very high self-control, thankfully.
Yeah, her specialty is unforgettable beauty.
However, what's the difficulty? V20 is really harsh, isn't it? I think I failed.
It's dark it's 5, but in modern times it's 6.
Okay. As Sam approaches, Justinian will raise an eyebrow and say hi, and then seeing the lovely creature on his arm, he will. Okay, are we using the version where you have to interact with it, or is it the version where you're literally just like paralyzed by it? I think it's the paralyzed version of V20, isn't it?
I think the way we've done it before is you can still the only way you can react is to interact with this object or person. You can't do anything else but do that. You just need to either stare at it or interact with it.
Thankfully I didn't botch. So Justinian will stand and say, "Mon chéri, oh Sam, where did you find this beautiful creature? Thank you for bringing it to me. You can go now." And he will jokingly take your arm. Upon doing so, I guess he will. Oh no, wait, you have Blush of Health. He will not notice that you're a vampire.
Selena grins the attention. She's soaking it all up. But she looks to Sam to gauge his reaction.
Sam takes it as a joke because he's an easygoing kind of guy and doesn't really want to make a scene either.
Half joke.
Half joking, yeah, he kind of gets that. He just kind of laughs.
And Justinian will, in French, as my character does speak French, but I do not, he will begin complimenting you and get you to sit down. And I think actually he is just going to ignore Sam. Like, I think he's maybe slightly ruder than a joke would be. Weakness. Yeah, difficulty 6, so yes, I did fail. And yes, he will order champagne and stuff. And yeah, he will ask you questions. He'll ask you what's your name, who you are, blah blah blah. What are you doing with such an ungentlemanly, and this will be said in humour, a person such as Sam?
She would chuckle at that, introduce herself as Lady Selena Whitaker, and say, "Why, Sam's a darling. I don't know what you mean."
Sam is, of course, but between you and me, Venturas. No, shit, he will not say that because he doesn't think you're a vampire. Between you and me, he's a businessman, but he is not an artist. Come, I will show you my paintings upstairs sometime. And I'm going to roll willpower to snap out of this by now.
Yeah, that's fine. Or just re-roll self-control.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay. Sam just kind of grumbles and stirs his drink. So.
Okay, I have 3 successes. I believe Justinian will his mind will track back, and he will realise that he's probably being fairly rude, and he will probably think that this is your ghoul, and he has actually heard that you have a fiancée, as I was planning to kill her at one point. So, and he will step back, assuming this is your fiancée. He will say, "My apologies, Sam, but you have brought such a delight to me this evening that I could not keep my hands off. Please, both of you sit. It is a pleasure to have both of you here."
No apologies needed. The hospitality is gracious.
If you would both like, we could, and I am going to roll 7 dice at you, Mr. Spillane. What is your current willpower?
6.
Okay, you will hear a voice in your head which will say, which will basically say questioningly, "Ghoul, can't you come upstairs?"
You can hear his voice if he drives him to the surface, right? You can telepathically speak back.
Yes.
Actually, no. I did that last time with the Asimite, so yeah. Sam, there's a bit of a slight look of, there's like a twitch of a smile on his face, which was already wide. He says, "You're a clan, actually." He says
his,
that
eye,
in his head.
his eyes will widen, and he will walk behind the bar, pick a bottle of champagne, and with it he will gesture for the two to follow him through a back door which leads to some stairs and has a bouncer in front of.
Alright, now you're gonna have a real drink.
Selena's looking around the place. She fits in there. She seems very at home.
I mean, she's probably getting a lot of looks if she's appearance 5.
Oh, she's used to it. She expects it.
Cool.
Basks in the attention.
Actually, as you have been told you're a clan, I'm going to aura perceive you. If that's all right, my dear. I have 2 successes.
You rolled a 1, it's difficulty 8, I think, so you only get the 1. But you can tell her.
Stiff 7.
Oh, it's diff 7? Okay.
Probably says quick checking, just in case. Oh no, you're right. I apologize. I only get 1. Basically, this will probably confirm whether you're a vampire or not, and that's about it.
Unless you've got, deceptive aura.
No, she is as she seems.
And yeah, Justinian will lead you upstairs.
Yeah, Sam will jog up along with her, desperately trying to not look like the third wheel because he feels that Justinian should be the third wheel.
And yeah, up the stairs is opens up into a small kind of cozier bar, lower ceiling, and there is one big table in the center, and there's nobody else here. And the music is nowhere near as loud, although it's still there. It's currently playing Africa by Toto.
Sam gets a kind of a rhythmic beat in his foot going. He actually has the twitch fall, so it's it comes very quickly to him. His foot begins tapping as he walks along in the beat. He's almost dancing, but not quite. It's that way you're kind of bouncing up and down to the beat of the music, but you're trying to look like you're not putting much effort in.
He will pull out a seat for Lady Selena. Please, ma chérie, sit.
Why, thank you. She gracefully sits down and crosses her legs so that the slit in the skirt she's wearing kind of comes apart, shows plenty of tanned thigh.
And Justinian will sit down himself. So, Sam, it appears that you know the members of my clan more than I do. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss. And he will say, Mrs.
Sorry, say again, I didn't catch that.
He will say, it's a pleasure to meet you, Mrs. He's not sure if you've been using the correct name in public. Or... He's basically inquiring your name.
She'll present one hand towards him to be kissed and say, Selena, darling.
A pleasure to meet you. My name is Justinian de Conte, originally from Orleans and now this city also. I was deemed esteemed by the bishop, by the Prince of Boston, you know.
How delightful for you, darling.
It was. So, what brings you to our city?
Well, it was time to leave LA, and our esteemed prince here in New York was gracious enough to agree to take me under his wing. Who was I to say no to such an offer?
Who are any of us to say no to a prince?
He nods in approval at that.
You have met a Parmesan, then?
Unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately. Why unfortunately?
Well, darling, it's a position I'd like to see myself in one night in the very near future.
Ah, I was once a promulgation of our clan in the city, and although the climb to the top is fun, once you are there, the view is not so good.
I'm sure I'd enjoy it just fine.
So, Sam, you must catch me up what has been going on. I returned to Orleans for a few weeks, but I found myself missing this shithole, so I've come back.
He chuckles at that. Aye, well, you might not be none too pleased to hear that the conflict of the Sabbat is back on. They broke their little treaty and tried to recruit Limey.
So they are dishonored by land stripping. We had their word. We were
Probably
killing the shit
gonna.
out of them.
They've probably gotten ballsy. They've gotten some reinforcements from Washington. The Prince Devil was found out to be a Sabbat spy.
Okay. That might have something to do with a previous prince and a seneschal then. If the Prince of Boston, Washington was a spy for them. That is what he died, no?
Aye, he was taken down, but I think Washington's gone. We have a bit of a refugee problem on our hands now. One of them wants to marry Emily, though. I find that one quite entertaining.
Selena would smile at that. But on the whole, she's sitting back and letting the men talk about things that don't interest her.
Justinian, can you take a perception awareness test, please, the pair of you?
Okay.
No, perception empathy, actually. I will roll manipulation subterfuge.
Yeah, I actually need to check. Do I get 4 or 5 dice to this?
What am I rolling?
Perception empathy.
One moment, I just need to check.
As mine won't show up, can one of you guys roll 6 for me?
Yep.
Thank you.
You have a single success, as I rolled some ones.
Okay. Sam gets 4 dice, that's wrong. No, only 1 success.
Okay. Justinian appears calm and collected and reacted in no way to the news. So, you must have noticed that I have I have removed my name from the running for Seneschal.
Ah, that interested me. What brought on the
I thought
change
I
in
was going to,
plans?
I thought I was going to leave the city. And besides, I'm not too sure I wish to serve as Seneschal under this prince. I have been quite enjoying my time as a simple neonate.
Sometimes it is just best to keep your head low.
Well,
Gangrel seem to have thrived off of it.
please do not compare me to the gangrel. And he'll look at Selena and say, "Not that I've got anything against them. Some of my best friends are gangrel."
Now I'm gonna say, I wasn't saying nothing. I'm pretty certain you don't live out in the woods anywhere.
No. So, I must apologize also. My friends in the NYPD were not so helpful to your position, I think. Although I hear that you have been making friends there yourself.
Actually, Sam made friends directly because of Justinian there, so.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He was just being
Huh.
coy about it.
Wait, empathy is 0. Aye, well, hard work pays off, doesn't it? Hmm.
So, you can fill me in. Who is running for senator now? You are doing it yourself still, or?
After you left, Damien jumped in, and I sure as hell wasn't gonna let him get it.
The Nosferatu, who spends his time rocking in the corner?
Rockin' and Ghost Connor, he just follows her everywhere. Almost got her killed.
Well, he must have some talent if he was able to ghost almost killed. She is quite a tough nut.
Ah, well, we caught them when we caught the Sabat while they're trying to recruit Limey, and she got beat down by one of them. Managed to take them all out, but then he suddenly wanted to separate from the group and take us somewhere safe. When that fucking Inquisitor was still around.
Ah, yes. He does not like me much, that one.
Aye. And we're back there running around. He's one of the few actual threats.
Do we know where they are?
Them in general, they're still off in Staten Island, that's where they're all coalescing again. But they don't seem to have a foothold here anymore.
This is good. But we do not have the foothold we once did, no?
Our position in Staten Island is pretty tenuous.
There was a time, Selena, when I was Parisian, when I ordered my clan to crusade to Staten Island. It was less than enthusiastic.
Oh, how unfortunate, darling. I would have been right behind you, I'm sure.
It was
Just that little sarcasm.
it was more of a political move than anything. Sometimes the best form of defense is attack. But no, I pulled my assets out of there and relocated them to Manhattan. It has been for the best, I believe. Well, who else is still around then? Is Reggie still on the scene?
Aye. He stole the perimeter and still seems to be doing quite well for himself. Went dark for a bit though. Haven't seen him been doing much, but he seems to be looking after Limey.
What has happened to Limey?
Got caught consorting with a mage. A praetor showed up. Was questioning all of us. Wanted to make sure that there were no spies in his city after what happened in Washington, considering all the refugees are coming over.
Well, I guess I should feel complimented. No one else questions me. My loyalty must be above reproach.
Aye, well, if there's one thing I can definitely call her, be a loyalist.
That is a strange word coming from an Irishman, no? Perhaps not a compliment.
I prefer to stay out of my country's politics nowadays. To be fair, I didn't even live there that long.
Well, yes. Although it has been made abundantly clear to me by the city's elders, although they're not with us anymore, that the anarchs and the independents are to be tolerated. As you are, I think, quite aware, some, no? After our last little discussion.
Aye. And a bunch of other anarchs were coming over there as part of a refugee group. And they just waltzed into the sheriff's domain and one just started obfuscating around as a joke.
Would you like to know what Charles said to me? Before when I was Primogen, an Anak fucked with me in this very club. It had to be closed down for a week. It could have been much worse. And I was obviously annoyed. I'm a Primogen of the Camarilla. My rank demands respect. And I was told I was not to retaliate, because we need the Anak's help. This is, to me, quite weak. The Anaks are not above the rules, as some people seem to think.
If they're just exploiting the situation to be above rules,
Yes. Maybe a display would be in order. They will remind that this is a Camarilla city, not an Anak playground, and that they need us more than we need them.
You'd have seen a look of distaste come over Selena's face when talk turned to Anarchs, and she would look very approvingly at Justinian. As a suggestion.
To have the Anarchs running free, and then somebody that has given so much to our sect like Lamy being punished. Do you know, my dear, he killed a red lister.
So I've heard. I'm yet to meet the gentleman, but he does sound like quite a chap.
He really is. Sam may be aware that Justinian owes a life boon to Lamy. So
No, Sam is not going to say anything.
Yeah.
I don't think he even needs to roll subterfuge because it doesn't really register with him that much.
It's
doesn't matter that much to him. So.
No, and yet we have those in the city who have done nothing for the Camarilla, receive applause. And those who directly work against it. No offense, Sam, but friends of yours, who are allowed to reside in this domain. The prince taking away everybody's domain was unfortunate. Luckily, I paid with mindful boons, so I keep it. This information may run contrary to what the others know, and Justinian is unaware of.
I really wish I was more certain, OC, because I can't find the message, but I don't have a domain anymore, so I'm pretty certain.
Justinian just implied that he is assuming this is his domain, or he still thinks this is his domain.
Yeah, I'm just looking. Just making sure. It's very low down, so I don't think I'm ever going to find it. Well, I'm pretty certain it happened, and Sam certainly doesn't have a domain anymore. So Sam's going to bring up the bad news. He literally says, I have some bad news for you.
What?
Because of what the prince perceives as an activity, he was taking away people's domains, even if they paid for them. It may be worth having a chat with him to confirm that. That's what I've been hearing.
No, I don't think so. He has taken away even those we paid with boons. He cannot do this.
Prince holds all the power.
Justinian looks pissed off. I have served the Camarilla loyally. I have risked my life multiple times for it. We all are part of the Camarilla, not just princes.
Well, apparently the sheriff still has hers. That's it.
She gets to keep. She only managed to get rid of those hunters because of the information I provided her. I will talk to the prince. This is ridiculous.
She doesn't seem too grateful for it. Had a bit of an argument with her. Everyone wants to, when it came to that Atlanta situation, everyone wanted to hush up.
How do you mean hush up?
Let's just say there was disagreements of how to go about things. They didn't really want to go on the offensive, despite the fact that the little solution to us was coming out on the next day.
I will talk to Miss Ghost. She owes me a significant favor. So, anyway, you brought me this bad news, but I thank you for it. I'm being impolite though. We must have a drink. And Justinian will wander behind the bar and bring out a bottle of what looks like red wine. And 3 glasses which he will clink down. He will pour. He will pour for Lady Selena first, then Sam second, and himself last. And you will smell blood.
Selena would pick up the glass and smell it like she would a good wine.
It is
And then
a fine Spanish version. I brought it back with me from Europe.
she smiles approvingly at that and holds it up and says, "Cheers, darling."
Cheers, madame.
He holds the glass up to Sam to clink with his, and then takes a delicate swallow of it.
Clink.
I must reintroduce myself back into court life, I think. It has been too long.
Aye. Actually, there's been some interesting changes because of what happened to Blimey Warren. It's not a bloody primogen.
Which one is Warren?
Selena can't help herself. She leans forward and says, "The one who loves anarchs."
I don't remember him. What does he look like?
He's a decent-looking chap, I suppose. Nice suit, dark hair.
New to the city?
Oh, I wouldn't know, darling. And she looks at Sam.
Alpha 2 has connections to the anarchs up in Washington.
What position does Limey hold now then?
He doesn't. Ghost took his position as sheriff. Warren took his position as primogen. I think he's actually stripped of his rank as Ancilla even. He's just another neonate.
The prince humiliates a hero of the Camarilla.
He kept him in some hotel which the Sabbat raided. I think the Keeper of Elysium's trying to get him moved. I think primogen...
Interesting.
It's original Carpenter, right?
Yes.
I think primogen Carpenter's letting him walk around as long as he's his babysitter, which Lemmy seems to be okay with considering they're old friends. But it's a monumental mess right now. And no one seems to want to no one seems to be able to solve anything. Everyone's arguing with each other. No one's even decided what to do with Lemmy. There's supposed to be a vote and none of the primogen are even meeting.
It appears we need a strong hand at the top.
My primogen was out for a few months on a mission outside the city, so she couldn't make it, but she's back now.
Justinian is pondering. I wonder. Is your sole reason for going for Seneschal to block this friend of Ghost? Damien? He's the same one, right? We met him in Elysium once and he cried in the corner the whole time.
Aye. He'd be a puppet, at best. He has incredibly poor judgment, as was displayed in the Sabbat raid.
My friend, he is a Nosferatu. No more needs to be said. And as you say, he will quickly just look around the room, just in case.
Fair
And,
enough.
Yeah.
The only half capable one I've ever met has been Monroe.
Miss Monroe is different. She is a sweet dear thing, but still damaged, I believe.
Aye. Well, partially it's because to be honest, I think I could do a better job than him. Someone needs to be at the top making sure that shit's getting done.
Hmm.
And that everyone knows the goddamn place.
My worry is, though, this prince does not want a strong seneschal. He wants a pushover. He wants a weakling that will do what he says. I'm worried that you're making yourself his next target.
Potentially. I've been trying to rebrand myself in preparation for that. I gave Warren and Ghost some trivial boons as an apology for disrespect. Yeah, quotes that because he doesn't believe it. Largely symbolic. It's not like it means anything. I'll honor my word, of course. I ain't gonna pretend I'm gonna think they're capable. Ghost got her ass kicked by a single Sabat.
If somebody kicks Ghost ass, my friend, he would have done much more to us.
It was pretty easy to just gun him down. Maybe he was a bruiser himself.
Who fucking knows with those freaks?
Wouldn't surprise me for a bunch of fucking caitiff.
Please tell me there are no fucking caitiff in the city. At least give me this good news.
No. Not as far as I know. Other than that one that wanted to join the venture and ended up joining the Malkavians instead.
Oh, yes, that one.
Hmm.
I remember being very nice to him. He had certain connections in New York Times that he wishes to exploit.
Yes, he was Brooks's old ghoul, I remember. He
Brooks.
should have. Guess he should have kept a closer eye on his assets.
Brooks was quite a fool. I will tell you the story of it, my dear. Him and the Bruhat Primogen at the time, I don't know, quite
Fucking
strange looking.
Blue. Pointy ears was bloody elf.
She, him and her said we should rebel against our prince. To us, openly. No threats, no blackmail, no cajoling, no bribes. I mean, I would never rebel against my prince anyway, but I at least want to know that if I'm going to follow someone in a coup, they would have done a good job of it. You know? Find out who is susceptible to you, bribe them, blackmail them, give them death threats, find those who will not, find those who you know will not turn, have them run over by a two-story bus. It was quite inept.
Certainly sounds it.
All talk and no bite those two.
Like me, though. I talk a lot.
Did you hear about that Anarch Nina, the blood sister to Ghost?
No?
No? Fuck. Well, this is gonna be a fun story. Ghost let her get away.
What is a blood sister? Sorry?
Same sire. She was going around, well, I'm pretty sure she was the one that broke through the main. I managed to get a recording of her jumping halfway up a building and leaving a small crater. She was trying to screw around in my sort of circles. Was making life difficult for her own clan as well as mine. Wanted to see what happens. Was just going around killing people because it was funny. That Warren guy defended her, and I brought him the evidence. And when she got in and said she got into a fight with Emily before in Elysium, I think, said it was Emily's fault.
I've never seen Emily start a fight, although I've seen her finish many.
Hmm.
It appears we have enemies without and within. The city has an identity crisis. How can we fight this Sabbat if we do not know that our own kind are secure?
Well,
The Camarilla Dun, we have our domains taken away. We have Anarchs running roughshod over us.
that is that fucking Bartos fellow. Mockery of my blood.
Which one is this?
Venture Anarch. Sent out a fucking broadcast, more or less, stating how the Anarchs are gonna basically fight our battle for us. Absolute joke.
So insult us as well.
Haven't even seen him anywhere. I haven't seen him anywhere near a fight. I haven't seen him anywhere near dealing with a Sabbat. Just like the rest, talks a big game. Talks one, but doesn't have one.
Maybe I should have some of my friends go visit him.
He has actually made his haven open to our Anarchs. Kind of a gesture, solidarity, because the Sabbat are all up in our face now. Not much of.
Could you tell me where his haven is, perhaps?
Let me check his post for you.
You can just tell me, like, after the scene.
Yeah, that's fine. The reason that I'm looking is because it might not actually have his address. This one is going to fall down. Here we go.
As they're talking, Selena's just sipping her blood, looking from one of them to the other, listening to everything they're saying. But every time Anarchs are mentioned, she can't help but wrinkle her nose a little.
Yeah, Sam, it says simply open, simply state your name to the man at the door. It says at the heart of I hereby offer my vote at half-time square. Any Anarch domain is a safe haven for Anarchs and our sympathizers. Own version of releasing. See, take the elevator to the 14th floor. So yeah, he's basically giving his address away. And Sam would just say, yeah, but it is an Anarch domain. And then it causes Sam to stop for a moment, look up towards the ceiling, and say, wait, why the hell do the Anarchs have domain and we don't? I swear to God, the only reason they're still afloat is because of Mole. And he actually put out a semi-sensible statement, not one just making fucking fun of people. He's been a bigger picture kind of guy. At least he knows what he's talking about to some extent, not this idiot. He's not even Ventru.
This is the problem now. We have enemies, and we have bad friends. Who do we turn on first? Do we sort our own ranks out, and then turn to the real threat? Or the other way around? It's a difficult one.
Well, last time the Sabbat attacked, from what I saw, the Anarchs more or less told the line because, at the end of the day, the Camarilla is still stronger than them whether they like it or not. I think even Bartos had to admit that in his little fucking statement. So he knows that we're basically their meat shield. And that if we go, they certainly go. So we should probably do with the Sabbat as of right now, especially since they've swollen their ranks and that the Archbishop still hasn't been dealt with. We absolutely have to kill him now. They will stay there until he's dealt with.
She's quite terrifying, you know, Mrs. Blix.
You sound like you know her.
I have met her. We spoke face to face.
I'm impressed you survived.
It was not my skill. It was her. I don't know. She let me go.
And then Monroe had dealings with her at some point.
Monroe's dealings were less cordial. Believe me, I have experienced those as well.
Right.
Justinian will actually pull out, and he's literally got this on him, a small, slightly by now battered letter. Took me some while. This was why I was gone for a while. I thought my loyalty might be in question, but it is not. When you do work for the Justiciariat, they do not question your loyalty.
Sam just smiles at that, silently.
Justinian is name dropping like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
It appears that, maybe I should hold a gathering here. All good friends of the Camarilla. In fact, I will do this. We will hold a meeting here. It will be enjoyable.
Aye.
We will reaffirm our relationship as Camarilla and our superiority. No. And at it, I will formally announce that I will run for seneschal also. If this is okay with you, Sam.
No, better off that way.
Are you still going to run, or?
Is Justinian implying that he wants him to hold up his end of the bargain? Can I make a perception infantry roll on that?
You don't have to. He's not really. He will actually elaborate on that and say, we could remake our deal if you wish. I quite promise you I also do not wish a Nosferatu seneschal. You're a hound now, no?
Aye, that is true, but apparently everyone's a hound now. Warren's a hound. Damien's a hound? What has he ever done for the city? He just walked in, kissed Ghost's finger, and suddenly she's picking favourites again. Same problem Limey had.
I believe that I can convince Miss Ghost to support me over her friend.
If we can do that, and we remake our deal, I'll drop out.
I can redo my end of the bargain also.
Aye. Well, you know, if you ever need any help on the underside, you got a friend in the center of it.
It would be useful. It is good to have us all working together on the same page. Miss Selena, do you hold any friends in useful places within this city?
Well, darling, I haven't been here long, but I've been attending parties, getting to know a few people here and there. You know, high society, elite.
If you would like to be introduced to people of this nature, I have many friends in the high society of the city.
That would be fabulous, darling.
Wonderful. I will arrange it.
Thank you ever so much. And speaking of high society, I'm throwing a little bash of my own in the coming nights. A fundraiser. It would be wonderful if you could attend.
I would be quite happy to.
I'll make sure you receive an invitation.
Merci. Yes, I think reintroducing the social aspect of the Camarilla would be a good thing. I believe that we can show the Anarchs that they cannot have their cake and eat it.
Aye. I swear I've been doing nothing but fighting recently.
I am sorry that I've not been helping.
Aye, you're out of the city. You can't be everywhere at once.
I must admit, Satan, that is not the only reason. Part of it is I had gone slightly bored. But I went back to Europe and I realized that I missed their life and the threat of the Camarilla here. Orleans is so safe. Orleans is so easy. But yes, there's something more to life when you know that there are enemies just across the water. Steve's gonna think for a minute. You're from Los Angeles, Miss Selena.
London originally.
Los Angeles is Anak territory, no?
It got so sickening. That was one of the reasons I had to leave.
Aye, no prince her anymore.
From what I hear, they have their own leaders. The world doesn't change.
I simply have no time for them, darling.
Ooh. I'm a suspicious man. No, not yet.
Oh, see, I know you're gonna do, you asshole.
Justinian will just nod and say they are quite the troublemakers.
They certainly are. I don't understand why our esteemed prince even allows them in his city. I certainly wouldn't.
I don't mind them being here. They just need to learn some fucking manners.
Oh. Baron ain't doing them any favors. Not Mole, the other one, refugee. She was with, what's his face? That Anak, the one that was obfuscating, Jimmy. It's been rather threatening. These are the people that want to be let into the city.
They were threatening. To who?
In general. Not Jimmy, actually. He was just an idiot. That Baron's
Someone who threatens is someone trying to make a point. If you really are a threat, you don't tell them you're coming.
Oh no, they need our help. They're trying to find a way in. But she doesn't seem like much of a politician.
Monsieur Spelin, Madame Whittaker, it has been a pleasure. I will take my leave though. You are welcome to stay here if you would like. But I'm going to go and talk to some people, I think.
Hi. If you ever need some additional hands, I know some people.
Of course, Sam. And the same extends to you both also. We must be here for one another. Enemies of all shapes and sizes. And Justinian will actually take his leave. He will leave the rest of the bottle. And he will go. He will, leaving you alone in his... Sam will be aware that he is... he's quite happy for people to be here.
Yeah.
Just before he leaves, Selena would say, "It's been an absolute pleasure meeting you, darling.
And you also.
I do hope we can keep in touch."
Oh, you make a very good point. And he will pull out a mobile phone and he will exchange numbers with her.
He puts his number into her phone and, gives hers back.
Merci, mesdames. And he will take his leave.
Sam will just lean back and put an arm around Selena and See, I told you I'd get along.
He seems a delightful chap.
There's a slight inflection at the end there. What's wrong?
Nothing at all. I think it's marvelous that there are others that share our views.
Well, someone's got to stand up for the tower.
I couldn't agree more, darling.
Well, I say we stick around here for a few more and then we head out. How does it sound to you?
Perfect. I do like this place.
Aye, I hope to have Blow and Tap my own someday.
It would be nice.
He actually does snap his knuckles as he's relaxing. And I think if there's nothing else anyone else needs to say, we can end the scene there.
Yep.
Where's Beardy Ivory Tower?